Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tuesday morning, and yes, I know I missed another weekly forecast and review, but that's okay. I'm going to catch up on that in this video. So this is probably going to be a little vloggy thing. I don't know how long it's going to span across. So like I could be uploading this today, honestly, on the Tuesday, or I could be filming over the week and then uploading it at the end of the week. But regardless, I'm going to take you along with me, show you what I'm doing, what I'm getting up to, and some plans I have. So real quick, these are my charts for AU and the dollar index. So as you can see, there's two scenarios which I think could play out. Either price breaks this resistance, which is at 0.781, and flies up to the next level, or price rejects it, breaks through the weekly support, well, it's currently acting as support. If it breaks through that, and if it manages to break through the 0.77 as well, then I see shorts down to 0.75. So since the last touch up here, we have been very bearish. I'm seeing a double top formed here. So yeah, there was a little bit of a break up above the weekly level, which formed a double top here, which is at this level. Now I feel like because of this wick, the top part of the candle, because it touched it out and rejected it straight away, I'm going to look for today's candle. If there's a bearish candle today, then I'm going to be more interested in shorts, but I need some more confirmation. So that's when I come over to the dollar index. So same here, I have the two scenarios played out, the colors both being, respective to their positions. So for it to go short, you see I've used the green arrow. So for that to happen, dollar index needs to follow the green arrow here. Now, what has happened is it's come to a support, which is this trend line. And also there's a little key level here. So for AU to drop, the dollar index needs to go up. So currently what we have is a small break of the trend line, as you can see, with this bearish engulfing candle, which made its way towards this level. Now, depending on how this daily candle reacts, that's when I'm going to be choosing what happens. So pretty much, I just want to know how price reacts to this little support area and this trend line. If it continues to the downside and closes below, then I see price heading down, which in turn for AU means it's going up. So a break below this area here will probably push price up this way. But if we see price break to the upside and actually close above the trend line, that will be like a counter trend line break. So if it breaks that, then that's when I'm going to be, more so zoning in on the shorts. So I'm constantly keeping my eye on these two pairs, this index and this pair. Pretty much that's how I trade AU. I don't just look at the AU charts, I always have the dollar index as like a supporting confluence, I guess. So I'm constantly going to be keeping my eye on these two and seeing what happens. Also, thanks to all the kind messages I was receiving over the past couple days. If you watched my previous videos, I haven't been having the greatest time ever. So yeah, thank you for the nice comments. Thanks for the people who messaged me to check up on me. I'm all good. I'm definitely feeling much better. Not 100%, but I'm climbing out that little dip. Anyways, let's talk about crypto. Crypto has been great to me. I've really been enjoying it, and I'm learning more and more every day, so it's super exciting, and I really love this journey, especially how I can bring the skills from forex trading over into crypto, and it works really well. So I guess like the biggest question is, what am I investing in? How do I trade? What do I do with cryptocurrency? So pretty much I trade it and I invest in it. I have some long-term holdings, and I have the short-term positions, which I sort of get in, wait for it to hit a specific target, and then I get out and then I reinvest those profits, and I keep doing that and scaling up my account. Now, what do I trade? I'm not going to get into it, because although this channel is about authenticity, it's about being very clear and open, I'm not comfortable sharing what I'm actually invested in, just because the channel isn't about every little detail of what I'm doing. It's more so the journey. Now, I'm more comfortable sharing how I'm trading and how I trade all my trades in Forex, but I'm not going to be sharing what I do with cryptocurrency. Now, Now, it's not like I'm trying to keep a secret away from everyone, like, oh yeah, this is my golden way of trading, but I'm not gonna lie, I've been performing really well, and not just because it's in a bull market. Like, yeah, that contributes to it. It's very hard to lose money right now in the crypto market, but just because I feel like the way that I invest and the way that I trade crypto, I put a lot of time and effort, research into it, and I'm not just ready to give that out for free for people to like capitalize on all this work that I've been putting in. So I'm not just gonna tell you, oh, I trade cryptocurrency, and that I'm not gonna tell you what I trade and what I invest in. I mean, I guess I just did, but I'm not gonna just leave you hanging there. I'm actually going to give you guys some good information, something useful, yeah, some things that you can actually take away and apply to your cryptocurrency trading or investing. Alright, so here's some of my quick tips off the top of my head in regards to trading and investing in crypto. I always ask myself why and what. So what am I investing in? Do I understand it? And if I do, then why am I going forward with this investment? A lot of people these days, just because crypto is booming at the moment, they're just jumping into anything, and they have these really strange investment strategies. I've talked to a bunch of my friends and others, and I genuinely don't understand why they want to trade the way they do. But hey, that's them. I'm not saying what they're saying is wrong or right. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't make sense to me when I think about the way I trade, but obviously it's because I'm more experienced with trading, so I go about things slightly differently. So what and why? Say you invest in whatever coin. Do you know what that coin actually does? Do you know if that coin is going to be adopted like later on, like being used in actual real life situations, and how is it going to be used around the world? Do you know the team that's behind it? What makes this coin something that is attractive to you? Is it just because it's got a lot of hype around it? Because it's cheap? And I say this because people look at coins that are like $2 or 30 cents or 0.00 whatever cents, and they think it's cheap. But then you look at the market cap, you do the calculations, and you realize, oh hey, for this to double the money, it needs to reach triple Bitcoin's market cap or something like that. And then you think about it, what's the odds of it tripling the market cap of Bitcoin in the short term, long term, whatever you decide to trade. Now it can go deep, but pretty much, do you know what you're investing in? And if you do, then why are you choosing this coin? Why not another coin that does the same thing? Why did you choose to do, say, a DeFi project on the Ethereum blockchain rather than a DeFi project based off Solana? There's just so many questions. So you really need to know the what, and you really need to nail down the why. It makes things so much clearer. Now, when you've nailed those two things down, or when I nail those two things down, then the next question is entries and exits. Okay, so now I know that I want to be in this position, either for a short, medium, or long-term trade, investment, or whatever. I have to figure out, okay, is this something that I want to ride up the next wave and cash out my profits to reinvest, sort of like a short-term trade? Or is this something that I want to enter now and hold it for the next 10 years? So by figuring out those two things, then you can figure out, okay, if I'm doing a more short-term trade, then obviously I want the better entry, because then the more accurate the entry, the better it is for me. If you're thinking about investing like 10 years, 5 years down the line, I don't think entering, let's just say you're doing Bitcoin, I don't think the difference between a $50,000 entry or entering on 51 to 50 is gonna make that much of a difference if you're investing that much in the long term. But if you're looking for like a 1 week trade or something, or an intraday trade, the entry point does make a big difference. So then you gotta ask yourself, okay, well, where is the entry and what is going to, trigger me to buy? Now, is this going to be based on some sort of fundamental news that is coming out? Is this based on technical analysis? You gotta figure that stuff out. If it's a more short-term trade, then entries make a much bigger difference than the long-term trades. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, not saying I'm wrong, not a financial advisor. This is just my opinion. So now you know where you want to enter, but now the last thing is, where's your exit? There's no point doing all this work to figure out what, why, where you want to enter, and then you don't know where you want to exit, because then you might be one of those people that are like, oh, hey, I'm going to exit on a crash or a dip. And then it's like, okay, well, what classifies a dip or a crash to you? And they're just like, oh, when price goes down. But it's like, yeah, well, you do realize even on a bull market, price will always retrace. It always dips back down. It comes down to price will always make its way down temporarily, even during a very strong bull market, because that's where it needs to find its demand, and that's where people buy in to push the price higher. So if you're just saying that you're gonna pull out when price goes down, I don't think that's very smart, because then it's like, okay, well, how much down does it need to go? And people are like, oh, a 10% drop will take me out of the position. But then you got to consider what kind of market we're in. We're in a market where price can move like anywhere upwards of 10, 20, 30% in a day and make major corrections and stuff. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Are you going to be exiting based on technical analysis? Are you exiting based on fundamental analysis? Like if some bad news comes out, that's what's going to trigger you to get out of the position, then you re-enter when markets slowly like fizzle out. Me personally, I do my entries and my exits based on technical analysis. Also some fundamentals because in the crypto zone. In Forex, I don't really use too much fundamentals, because for me, when I trade with fundamentals and I take a lot of time to be worried about fundamentals, it doesn't make too much of a difference, and it's just a waste of my energy. Quick 4 tips. What are you investing in? Or figure out what you're investing in, why you're investing in it, entries, exits. Now, if you want to get even deeper with this, give you guys a little bit more value, don't chuck all your capital into a single entry. So what I mean by this is, say you want to hold Bitcoin, right? And you have X amount of capital and you want to make an entry. If you see price line up with some sort of technical analysis, if you see some sort of news that comes out that you were looking forward to, it's not wise to dump your entire investment in at one shot. You should do something called dollar cost averaging, which is essentially spreading out your position over multiple entries. It's just a good way to reduce your risk, I guess. But then also the flip side of that is profit taking. So pretty much, where are you going to be taking your profits? Now, I know I've talked about entries and exits, but the exit is not the same thing as profit taking. Now, yes, I guess all exits are classified as profit taking, or not exactly. Oh, I mean, you could be losing and all that, but we're just saying, like, hypothetically, you're doing well, you're in the green. Are you going to hold your position right until the end to take out all the profits? Or are you going to be sort of scaling out of positions as price makes its way up to sort of secure profits? This is also a wise thing to do. If you hold, I mean, I made this mistake in Forex where I was like, okay, here's my stop loss, here's my take profit. I'm not touching my trade until it hits at either one of those. Price would make its way real close to the take profit, and then it will just drop, reverse, hit my stop loss or whatever, and I'll lose everything. So that taught me to be like, okay, well, as price continues its way up, it's a good thing to secure some profits in the bag. Just take out a little bit, take out a little bit, take out a little bit. And even if it does reverse and take you out at break even at your stop loss or whatever, at least you have some profits secured. So where and why are you going to be taking those minor profits? Again, are you using technical analysis? Are you going to base this on fundamentals? This is completely up to you. Those aren't the only 2 ways to do it. There are different ways to choose where you take your profits, this and that. It could be like a monthly thing, a weekly thing, a quarterly thing. Yeah, there's lots of different strategies, techniques to do all this and that. But pretty much that's just my quick yarn about crypto, some quick tips for you guys. And hopefully you take this into consideration, because there's a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing, and it's very obvious when you talk to them. They genuinely are just in it for the hype, and they're probably in denial about that. And you ask them like, yeah, blah blah blah. I'm not even gonna get into it, but just be smart. It's a good time to make money, but it's also an easy time to lose lots of money if you don't consider all these things. So good luck in the crypto markets, and hopefully it's doing for you what it's doing for me.